start the ceremony. Yes.
Okay.
So thank you. Okay. So thank you for coming to Amda Peace Building Program online forum for world peace from Bangladesh and Japan. That this is the third time. So we will discuss about peace. So let's have a good time together. So I am today's moderator. My name is Takuma Tsunehara. I am a member of the student club staff. So nice to meet you today. Okay, so first we want to introduce yourself. So first, Japanese students start the introduce.
Hello, we are the Amda Junior and High School Student Club. We will talk about disaster prevention in Japan. Japan has many disasters. The damage caused by earthquakes is especially bad. Please look at this graph. This graph shows annual average of earthquakes of magnitude 5.5 or greater around the world. Japan ranks fourth this decade, and it has caused very serious damage. Our city also experienced flooding about 5 years ago, caused by heavy rains, and it created a lot of damage.
One of the most damaging disasters was the Great East Japan earthquake, which struck in March 2011 with a magnitude of 9, creating a tsunami of more than 9.3 meters high that torrented many towns and cities. 50,900 people dead and about 2,500 people are still missing. After the earthquake, lifelines such as electricity, gas, water, and communication, which are indispensable for our daily lives, were all stopped, and people were forced to live in great inconvenience. However, thanks to the many volunteers who helped running soup kitchens and water supply, and the many countries that sent relief supplies, reconstruction has been progressing. However, even now, more than 10 years later, 40,000 people are still living as evacuees.
Have you heard of the disaster prevention pouch? It is a set of items to keep in your bag for everyday use. It includes 9 useful items such as a portable toilet, aluminum blanket, and more. It is very lightweight at 450 grams and so easily carried. By putting all items in your shoulder bag, you can free up both hands and prepare for secondary disaster. Next, we will introduce some convenient disaster prevention goods. First of all, this is an A1 file-shaped simple helmet. Helmets which are difficult to carry can be easily carried. Inside the case is a set of disaster prevention goods, which also includes an LED light and a whistle. I think it's nice and can be put on a desk.
Next is a credit card type light, almost the same size as a credit card and only 3 mm thick. It can be put in a pocket or wallet for quick access in emergency. This is a water battery. It can be used by putting water into a hole in the body using the included dropper. It also works with juice, beer, or saliva and can be used several times over. Can be kept longer than normal batteries. It is amazing that the battery can be used not only with water, but also with juice and so on. As you can see, there are many useful disaster emergency products on the market today. Not only commercially sold disaster products, but also some that can be easily accessible by hand in the case of a disaster.
Next, we will introduce handmade disaster prevention goods. We can make many convenient goods very easily using cardboard boxes and newspapers. For example, slippers and beds. Many places, such as evacuation shelters, such as gyms, have hot and cold floors and and are thirsty, sitting directly on the floor can cast out of this dust to be breathed in. If we could make many of them in the same size, they could be used as beds. Many earthquake evacuation drills are conducted. Activities include evacuation training at school, stockpiling of disaster prevention goods and emergency food, the establishment of warning levels, creation of hazard mark, and making buildings more resistant to earthquakes. In Japan, where we live, there is a 70% or higher probability that a large earthquake along the Nankai Tora will happen within the next 30 years. The magnitude of that earthquake is 9, and the tsunami of about 30 meters is expected to be generated. We visit a town called Kuroshio Town, which is expected to suffer the most severe damage in the event of such a major earthquake.
Kuroshio Town is a seaside town located in the prefecture of Kochi, Japan. People who live in this town are aware of the need of disaster readiness. In that town, there is through disaster training and disaster education with the aim of reducing victims to zero. The whole town helps each other. Let me introduce what we did in Kuroshio Town.
We participated in training to provide food when there was a disaster with readiness. Community officers taught us how to cook rice in aluminum cans for curry. It can be made in very simple steps. First, put rice and water in the can. Second, heat canned rice and water on an open fire. It uses basic items so we can make it at the time of disaster. And the food we made all together tasted really good. We participated in training to escape from the tsunami with local people too. By using this helper application, which uses the color on the screen and the sound, we can know how close the tsunami is from us. We can learn what route to take to escape safely and early to the tsunami tower. There are 6 such towers in town, and the tallest one is 22 meters high.
To conclude, Japan will not be able to avoid disasters. They will happen. However, governments and people are taking measures to reduce loss of life. The most important thing is help each other. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for talking about emergency food by Miss Ryoko and Miss Miho. And yeah. Very important thing. The topic is emergency response and medical relief for flood victims by
Masum
Rahman. Yes.
Right. Okay. Masum Rahman Atul, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's okay. Would you please continue your presentation?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you see the slide I'm currently sharing?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello again. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to deliver a speech about the topic I was given. As you can see on the screen, the topic I'm about to discuss is flood in Bangladesh and emergency response and medical relief for flood victims. In my presentation, I will focus on 3 main circumstances. Firstly, I will give a short introductory about Bangladesh. So Bangladesh is known as the land of rivers, but Bangladesh is also known as the most densely populated country in the world, with the estimated population of 169.4 million, approximately, which is huge compared to its total area of 148,460 square kilometers. Total number of rivers of this country is about 310, but some research says it's way above 400. Now, as our country is located in the southeast part of Asia, the climate is tropical monsoon climate, which also plays a great role in causing many natural disasters, along with the recent floods. Now, I will talk about one recent incident of flood in Bangladesh as I move on to the next slide. So starting on 16th and 17th of May 2022, heavy upstream rainfall from Meghalaya and Assam states in India have caused rivers in Sylhet to burst into their banks and flooding the division. The flood has mainly impacted the northeastern Sylhet and Sunamganj districts, including Maulavi Bazar, Hobiganj, Kishorganj, Brahmanbaria, Maimansingh, Sherpur district. An estimated 7.2 million people have been severely affected following devastating flash floods. Between May and June 2022, the floods have submerged over 53,000 hectares of agricultural land, damaging the crops, and 140 deaths were recorded from May 17 to August 18, according to the Directorate General of the Health Services. Then around a quarter of the country was flooded, and approximately 40,000 houses were destroyed due to the flood. And among them, only 6,000 houses can be reconstructed with the government allocation. According to the district administration, a total of 484,383 families were affected by the flood in Sylhet. The Sylhet flood are anything but normal. These events are a grim reminder that climate change is an existential threat across Bangladesh. Its far-reaching consequences are increasing the frequency, intensity, and duration of disasters, putting at risk years of hard-earned economic, social, and human development progress made by the country. Every year, some minor floods occur all over the country, but the floods take a terrible form in some years. The floods have caused devastation in Bangladesh throughout history, especially in 1951, 1987, 1988, and 1998. The 2007 South Asian floods have affected a large portion of Bangladesh. Then finally, I will talk about the emergency and post-rehabilitation rehabilitation activities for flood victims by AMDA Bangladesh. The first one was the post-emergency rehabilitation activities done for the flood victims in Gazaria Thana, Munshiganj district in 1998 for 6 months. Secondly, in 2004, emergency relief and medical services to the flood victims in Gazaria, Munshiganj district and Kishorganj district. Thirdly, emergency medical relief activities for the Siror victims in Potuakhali and Borgona district in 2007. Then in 2012, the emergency relief activities for flood victims in Kurigram. And lastly, in 2016, the emergency relief activities for flood victims in Kurigram district, the photo of which I will present in front of you all shortly after. So there are all the previous works done by AMDA, which AMDA organization has done with great skill, honesty, and integrity. As we move on to the next slide, we are about to see some emergency and post-emergency rehabilitation activities done by AMDA, which were captured in photos. As we can see in the picture, the volunteers of AMDA organization are working tirelessly in helping and rehabilitating the flood victims. This event of AMDA took place in Kurigram in 2016. Then in this slide, the ration distribution program is going on among the people affected by floods as they stand in the line. The distribution program was organized passionately by AMDA Bangladesh, Down Syndrome Society of Bangladesh, and Japan Bangladesh Friendship Hospital. On the last slide, I will talk about the emergency medical relief operation for the flood victims, which took place in Kurigram district in July 2019. As we can see in the slide, Japanese volunteers are working alongside Bangladeshi volunteers with great sincerity to deliver rations to the flood victims. So that pretty much wraps up my presentation. I'd like to finish with this wonderful quote from one of the most famous swordsmen in history, Miyamoto Musashi. As the saying goes, there is nothing outside of yourself that can enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is within. Everything exists. Seek nothing outside of yourself. Miyamoto Musashi. And on that final note, that concludes my presentation. It is an honor for me to be here with you all today. Wishing each and every one of you all a very good luck on your own journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Masum Rahman Atul, for your excellent presentation on emergency response and medical relief for flood victims. Thank you. Thanks again. Takuma, are you can you listening?
Yes.
Okay. It's now that disaster preparedness in Japan. Two of our students will be presented on this specific topic. Would you please continue? Right. Yes.
Next topic, disaster preparedness from
right.
Japanese side. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for talking about emergency response and medical relief for flood victims. Okay, so the next part is Japanese side.
Right.
So the next topic is the disaster preparedness in Japan by Mako and Ms. Ayuka.
Hello, the topic of our talk is emergency food. Have you heard of the term emergency food? Emergency food is preserved food what keeps on stock well to be used in case of disaster. Emergency food contains not only food but also water. Disaster presents many limitations, and so it is required to stock emergency food that can be cooked easily without many utensils. During disasters, we cannot expect reliable food and utilitarian support from others. Past experience shows that it may take a long time for relief supply service and survive disaster. It is central to propel maintain emergency food stock. I talked about the essential requirements for emergency food. They can be divided into three conditions: easiness to eat, nutrition, and shelf-life. Sustainable, suitable food should not require preparation, nor should they require beverage. People may need to stay in shelters for as long as 3 months. Thus, the shelf life of food is the most important condition. Breast expiration date is usually about 3 days, but bread which is made as emergency food can last over 3 months. Over 3 years. This makes it a staple food for shelters. These three conditions are being researched to make further improvements. We will now introduce some examples of recent developments. Our of troubles with emergency food, it is stability. Besides our preference, I think everyone has food they just cannot eat, whether for religious or health reasons. I will introduce some Japanese emergency food considering these conditions. First, I will talk about reagents proteins. Please look at this mark. This is called halal circulation mark. Halal food is made in accordance with Islamic traditions. For products to be certified as halal products, the materials, the manufacturing process, and manufacturing environment had to be conditioned. This is emergency food, nasi goreng, and biryani. And the number of halal certified foods are increasing in Japan.
Second, I talk about allergies. Those who suffer from allergies can experience further hardship during disasters when there is only a narrow range of edible emergency food. For this reason, allergy-friendly emergency foods have been developed. This picture shows emergency food, curry, corn soup, and vegetable soup that is free from 27 allergies ingredients being eaten as school lunch. In conclusion, emergency food is made from various viewpoints to eat whoever.
Emergency food uses the latest technologies in Japan. One of them, refrigeration, uncooked rice keeps well. However, it is hard and difficult to digest. In contrast, regular rice is soft, but it is gross but easily. This emergency food was made by combining only the good parts of their characters. Cooked rice dries rapidly and remove moisture. This method extends the shelf life while maintaining taste.
Also, some people worry that emergency food may contain a lot of preservatives to prolong the edible life. Many people regard food addictive as harmful. We can produce emergency food except a lot of preservatives by using technology such as pre-gelatination. These products are dried in a vacuum after heat sterilization. These methods enable emergency food to storage long term, not to go bad.
These are emergency food for children and babies. Please look at picture on the left. This curry is filled with various ingredients. Most children in Japan don't like spicy food. This curry has a mild taste and is tasty at room temperature. Next, please look at the picture on the right. This milk for infants, which is used instead of mother's milk. By using the included attachments, parents don't need a bottle to feed their babies.
Currently, most emergency food is packed with bags and paper instead of canned. This is a result of the large earthquake in 2011. Large amounts of canned garbage become a serious problem of shelters. For this reason, portable bags or paper packing not occupy space are now preferred.
I know it's sudden, but I will give a quiz now. This is a little rare emergency food. What is it? I will give you 10,000 for thinking. Please send me your answer in chat box. The correct answer is number 1,
custard cream. We can make cream by stirring flour with water. It is a unique emergency food which is delicious with crackers. Despite the developments, there are a lot of issues to solve, such as nutritional imbalance. The Amda High School Student Club has been discussing existing emergency food. It is believed that a large earthquake will happen again within 40 years. If one does, we need to feed people and feed them well and conveniently in order to give people a sense of composure. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, and thank you for answering that quiz. So we would like to start next presentation. The next part is from Bangladesh side. The topic is awareness raising campaign for persons with Down syndrome by Mr. Rakin.
Thank you so much. Just a minute.
Okay, just a moment, no problem.
Can you see my slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Now I am going to presenting the presentation on peace building through empowering people with Down syndrome in Bangladesh. The slogan about the peace building project is my voice and my community. Next slide. At first, we have to know about what is Down syndrome. And Down syndrome is not a disease, but a genetic variation, a chromosomal condition. A person with Down syndrome has got an extra chromosome in the 21st chromosomes. There is a triplication, which causes Down syndrome. That's why Down syndrome is also known as trisomy 21. In the picture, you can see that in the 21st chromosome, there is extra chromosome. The total number of chromosome is in a person with Down syndrome becomes 47. Down syndrome is not something that can be cured. It is not a disease. It is a genetic difference. Next slide, please. Here we are, the Down syndrome parent support group of Bangladesh. In our society, to awareness rising campaign, we have to awareness the parents first. Okay, so a program of AMDA Bangladesh is very great program about Down syndrome parent support group. So here we are. Down syndrome is not a birth defect. It is rather a blessing. Children born with the condition have unique talents that are not acknowledged. Down syndrome parent support group, a program of AMDA Bangladesh, wishes to educate and create awareness about this condition and offers support for parents with children, relatives, or friends who have Down syndrome in order to establish peace in the communities. Next slide. Yes, the vision of AMDA Bangladesh on Down Syndrome Society of Bangladesh is create an peaceful, inclusive society for the Down syndrome communities in Bangladesh through sustainable development initiatives in health, education, and employment promotion. Here we can see the photo of World Down Syndrome Day 2023. In these photos, the parents are gathering together in the program in United International University. Next slide. Here is the mission of our children's. The mission is to improve better quality of life for people with Down syndrome, promoting their rights to be included on a full and equal basis with others in the communities. Here is the Down syndrome self-advocates are sharing themselves with their rights and their feelings. Next slide, please. Here is, we want to share with you some specific objectives for our Down syndrome children. To safeguard the legal rights of children and adults with Down syndrome, to encourage early intervention programs to help on making education and training of all children and adults with Down syndrome in Bangladesh of high standards. And again, to create self-advocacy programs for encouragement and help to adults with Down syndrome developing self-esteem and independent living. And again, to address behavioral issues in children and adults with Down syndrome and bring training programs, cultural exchange programs for able Down syndrome and adults with Down syndrome between Bangladesh and other countries. And at last, research in the field addressing various aspects of children and adults with Down syndrome. These are the specific objectives. Next slide. Here is the core activities of AMDA Bangladesh and Down Syndrome Society of Bangladesh. Next slide. Here we are, Awareness Rising Campaign. 21st March is each year observing World Down Syndrome Day, and celebration of October is World Down Syndrome Awareness Month in each year, with social medias and in electronic and printing medias. Next slide, please. Here we are celebrating World Down Syndrome Day 2023 in United International University, and they are the Down syndrome celebrities are performing their opening dance. You can see in the picture. Next slide, please. Here is the event photo. This photo is about 2014. The first World Down Syndrome Day was arranged by Japan Bangladesh Friendship Hospital, AMDA Bangladesh, and Down Syndrome Society of Bangladesh. Next slide. This is the celebration rally. You can see that World Down Syndrome Day. Basically, this is the first Down Syndrome Day in Bangladesh. Yes, next slide. And we know that they are very lovely with dancing. They are very fond of dancing, and they are performing their amazing stage performance, couple dance, in this 21st March 2023. And in the stage performance, you can see that, the fabulous. And I want to share with you that if you want to see their dance performance, you can look up on your Facebook page, Down Syndrome Society of Bangladesh, and I hope you can enjoy. You all will enjoy. Thank you. Next slide. First of all, to sustain in a community and in the society, we need of very much education. So they also need their education platforms in their sites. So we have been running 2 resource centers, and through the resource centers, we have some certain resource certain that's early intervention, inclusive education, self-advocacy group training, skill training, and employment promotion. Next slide. Yes, for the Down syndromes, for children born with Down syndrome, they very need of a early intervention also. Early age education and homeschooling is very important to improve their selves. So early age education, homeschooling, speech and language therapy, appropriate behavior, inclusive education, and healthcare support and IEP is called that individual education program is very important for them, for their early intervention. And you can see that my younger brother is on laptop, and he's learning about the programmings of video editing. And in the left picture, you can see that early age education, and he loves to go to school, and they can do everything like us. Next slide, please. Here is the skill training and employment, and you can see in the picture. They are working very hardly. Then next picture, please. Here we know that in every walk of our life, we need good health, and without a good health, we cannot do anything. So in order to Down syndrome children also want a healthcare, a good healthcare from us. And in healthcare services, we have been carrying out, there is early detection, health screening, and counseling the parents, and next speech and language pathology, physiological service, and occupational therapy also. Next slide, please. Here you can see the health campaign and health checkup. And here is the Down syndrome children are checking their health. Next slide, please. Here is the Down syndrome resource center, and they are gymming and pass their time in the gym and workouting in Gazaria. Next slide, please. Here is the self-advocacy program for adults with Down syndrome. And the slogan about the self-advocacy program is what I bring to my community. So next slide, please. Here we are. What is self-advocacy? Before knowing the self-advocacy, first of all, we have to know about what is advocacy. Advocacy means the act of speaking up on the behalf of or in support of another person, place, or thing. Self-advocacy means speaking up for yourself and for other people, being proud of who you are, speaking up for your rights, making decisions about your own life, expressing your thoughts and feelings, knowing your rights and responsibilities. These are the self-advocates. And the next slide will show you the Down syndrome self-advocates are presenting their rights, their feelings, and what they want from our community to stand by them. Here is the self-advocacy training. Next slide, please. And here the self-advocate group of Down Syndrome Society of Bangladesh. And they're together. The next slide. Here we are, the self-advocacy group session, and they are expressing their feelings, their thoughts, and their rights through the program of group session of self-advocacy. Next slide, please. Here we are. In every walk of our life, as a simple human, everyone need support, love, care, and friendship. As well as the Down syndrome children also deserve definitely love and friendship by us. So we all should stand by them in every walk of their life. Thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimashita.
So thank you for telling us Down syndrome.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next part is from Japanese side. The next part is very, very interesting part. That is a Momotaro storytelling by Mr. Jack and Miss Beer and Miss Karin and Miss Nazuna and Sai. It is very, very famous story in Japan, in Okayama City. So please enjoy the story. Okay, so we are ready, so start.
We will now begin to introduce Japanese culture. The story we are going to tell you, Momotaro, is a traditional story from Okayama, where Amda's office is located. Now, please listen to us.
Momotaro. So Momo is peach in Japanese. So once upon a time, there lived an old couple. One day, the old man went to a forest to collect firewood, and the woman went to a river to wash clothes. A big peach was floating down in the river when the old woman was washing them. She picked it up and took it back home. The old man and the old woman decided to cut it, then opened the peach. Oh my God! A baby boy came out from the peach. They named him Momotaro because he was born from a peach. Momotaro was getting bigger and bigger and grew to be a strong big boy. At that time, in the village, a demon had been coming from Onigashima. The demon tricked everyone, so they were troubled. Momotaro said, "I'm going to dispose of the demon." The old woman made kibidongo, which is a sweet rice cake. Momotaro was leaving with kibidongo.
Along the way, Momotaro met a dog. The dog said, "If you give me one kimidan, I'll follow you." He said, "Okay, I'll give you one kimidan." Momotaro and the dog continued on their way. When Momotaro and the dog went deep in the mountains, they met a monkey. The monkey said, "If you give me a kimidan, I'll join you." Momotaro said, "Okay, I'll give you a kimidan." Momotaro, the dog, and the monkey continued on their way. Momotaro and his group were going through the valley. Then they met a pheasant. The pheasant said, "If you give me a kimidan, I'll belong with you." Momotaro said, "Okay, I'll give you a kimidan." Momotaro and his group went over many mountains through the valley and set sail for Onigashima.
Finally, they reached Onigashima. At the time, at the entrance to the island, there was a tall wide gate. First, the person flew over to see what was inside. The person returned and said, "The demons are sleeping now. It's very quiet." Next, the monkey climbed over the gate to open the gate from inside. Then the dog pushed the heavy gate. "On guard! Momotaro is here to conquer evil demons," shouted Momotaro. All the demons woke up and attacked them. However, Momotaro and his swing group defended demons one after another. The demons were no match for Momotaro's team. In the cave, Demon General had been having a party. "It's trouble! It's trouble! Momotaro and his gang are attacking us." A demon went to there and said, "Momotaro, who is that?" The demon general said. At the time, Momotaro turned up in front of them. "I'm Momotaro. I was born from a peach and I'm here to conquer you," shouted Momotaro. "Ha ha ha! You think you can defend me?" said the demon general. He showed Momotaro a great steel rod, but Momotaro drew his sword and broke the demon general's rod.
After the disposal of the demons, the demon general was crying. "Save my life, please," Momotaro said. "Do you swear to stop making people sour?" "I swear I'll never do it again," said the demon. "Do you promise?" Momotaro asked again. "Yes, I promise," the demon answered. So Momotaro decided to save the demon's life. The demon gave all his treasure to Momotaro.
Momotaro and his friends sailed back over the sea, through the valley and over the mountains, back to their house. The old man and old woman were delighted and welcomed Momotaro home. He shared the demon's treasure with all the village people and bought a wonderful treat for his friends. From that day forward, the demons never bothered anyone again, and they all lived happily ever after.
How was it? Kibidango, which appeared in the story, is one of the traditional Okayama foods. Not only that, people and praise that actually become motifs for daemon or onigashima are also located in Okayama. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you. How was the story? Was it interesting?
Yes, it was really interesting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we want to do the next part. The next part is from Bangladesh. The title is Story of Father of the Nation by Rohan and Miss Islam.
Hello everyone. My name is
Hello.
Wazira Islam. I am now going to present about the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
Orpita,
Ji, sir.
firstly we will share the screen, then you will present it, right?
Sir,
Could you please?
Sir, I'm on cell phone. Can share it.
Okay, no problem. Let me share the screen first, then you will present it, right? Okay, give me some time, please. Sorry for the inconvenience.
I'm now going to present about our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Can we go to the next slide? Childhood of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, often shortened as Sheikh Mujib or Mujib, also widely known as Bangabandhu, which means friend of Bengal. He was born on 17th March 1920 in the village of Tungipara in Gopalganj. His father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, was a law clerk in the courthouse of Gopalganj, and Mujib's mother, Saira Khatun, was a housewife. Mujib was a third child in the family of 4 daughters and 2 sons. His parents nicknamed him Khoka. In 2011, the 15th Constitutional Amendment in Bangladesh referred to Sheikh Mujib as the father of the nation, who declared independence on 26 March 1971. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Bangabandhu's family in 1971. It was the night of 25th March 1971. There was full of quietness at Bangabandhu's home at Dhanmondi Road number 32 throughout the day. Mujib and his family apprehended something tragic going to be happened. Gunshots were heard around the city by the Pakistani army, who had been killing people indiscriminately that night. Fearless Mujib sent his children to a safer place, but his wife Begum Fazlatun Nisa Mujib stayed with him. At the darkest part of the night, Pakistan army surrounded his home and started firing at random. He said to stop firing as it was irritated him. But soon, he was instructed to get ready to go with them. Just before the midnight, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman sent the Declaration of Independence to Zohar Ahmed Chaudhry at Chattogram via wireless. So far, Mujib's family members were ignorant about the condition of Sheikh Mujib. Then they came to know that he was alive and had been taken to Pakistan. His wife, Begum Mujib, started to contact Awami League leaders, but the family was taken to Dhanmondi, house number 18, by Pakistani army and kept them under house arrest. A tale of homecoming. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was taken to the West Pakistan after his declaration of independence and imprisoned him in a small cell for capital punishment until 7th January 1971. Even a grave was dug in front of his cell, but Mujib was fearless. he knew nothing would stop Bangladesh to gain independence. The whole world was awaiting breathlessly to witness his homecoming. In the evening of 7th March 1972, Bangabandhu left Chakrala Airport in Rawalpindi, from where he would fly to London. 9 months earlier, he was brought to Pakistan as a prisoner with little hope to return. Now he was free to go home. A tale of homecoming. Early in the morning on 8th January 1972, Bangabandhu arrived at Heathrow Airport and met with British Prime Minister and opposition leader. Then he left London to Dhaka. On the way, he would stop over in Delhi and met the President V.V. Giri and Prime Minister Indira Gandhi of India. After that, he came to his homeland, Bangladesh, on 10th January 1972, and millions of people, Mukti Bahini, Indian Army and media welcomed the father of nation, Sheikh Mujib, with gratitude, who has sacrificed his most of the time in prison to gain independence of Bangladesh. Bangabandhu at the UN. Bangabandhu's speech at the United Nations General Assembly is a matter of great pride for us. He delivered the speech on 25th September 1974, just after a week Bangladesh has become a member of United Nations. He was the first person who delivered the speech in Bangla at United Nations, the language of the 75 million people, the language of the language martyrs. Thank you, everyone. From here on, Rohan Shahriar Khan will carry on the rest of the presentation.
Bangabandhu's relationship with the other countries. Friendship for all, malice for none. By this philosophy, he owned the heart of people across the world. Bangabandhu had an open mind to maintain good relationship with all countries, irrespective of their capitalist, democratic, or socialist ideologies. Next slide, please. Bangabandhu's relationship with the other countries. During the period between 1972 to 1975, Bangladesh signed more than 70 treaties, agendas, memoranda, and contracts with other countries, managing entry into OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and attending its conference at Lahore filled up a major gap in diplomacy of Bangladesh. Next slide, please. Death of the father of the nation. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and Bangladesh independence become synonyms. Father of the nation, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was killed along with most of his family members on 15th August 1975 at his private home during a military coup by army officers. Next slide, please. The struggle, his famous speech was, "The struggle this time is a struggle for our liberty. The struggle this time is a struggle for our independence." And here I'm finishing our presentation. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Urpita and Rohan, for your excellent presentation on Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Thank you.
Thank you. So we want to do the next part. The next part is the Sing a Japanese Song by Miss Otani Airi. She is very good at singing. Okay, so let's sing together.
Thank you for telling us interesting story. Please wait a minute. I'm going to introduce you a traditional Japanese song, Ue o muite arukou. Do you know that? It's called Sukiyaki song in foreign countries. I create
Today, I created the music video, so please take a look at it and listen to it with the wonderful Japanese landscapes.
上を向いて歩こう。涙がこぼれないように思い出す春の日、一人ぼっちの夜。幸せは雲の上に、幸せは空の上に、上を向いて歩こう。涙がこぼれないように泣きながら歩く一人ぼっちの夜。
How was it? Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Otani. I really that was very excellent. That's good.
Yeah, we would like to invite
Beautiful
Otani to visit Bangladesh and sing a song here. Otani, we would like to invite you to Bangladesh to play your song here. Thank you.
So thank you. So the next part is the Bangladesh song. So sing a Bangladesh folk song by Bakim Raza.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
কেমনে আসে যায়, কেমনে আসে যায়, খাঁচার ভেতর অচিন পাখি কেমনে আসে যায়, খাঁচার ভেতর অচিন পাখি কেমনে আসে যায়, তারে ধরতে পারলে মন পেরি, ধরতে পারলে মন পেরি দিতাম পাখির পায়, কেমনে আসে যায়, কেমনে আসে যায়, খাঁচার ভেতর অচিন পাখি কেমনে আসে যায়, আটু কুঠুরি নয় দরজা আটা, মধ্যে মধ্যে ঝরকা কাটা, আটু কুঠুরি নয় দরজা আটা, মধ্যে মধ্যে ঝরকা কাটা, তারু পরে সদর কোঠা, তারু পরে সদর কোঠা, আয়না মোহন পায়, কেমনে আসে যায়, কাঁচার ভেতর অচিন পাখি কেমনে আসে যায়, মন তুই রইবি খাঁচার আসে, কাঁচা যেত কাঁচা বাসের মন তুই রইবি খাঁচার আসে, কাঁচা যেত কাঁচা
কাঁচা বাসে কোন দিন খাঁচা পড়বে কোষে কোন দিন খাঁচা পড়বে কোষে ফকির লালন কেঁদে কয় কেমনে আসে যায় কেমনে আসে যায় কেমনে আসে যায় কেমনে আসে যায় খাঁচার ভেতর চিন পাখি কেমনে আসে
Thank you, everyone. Arigato.
Wonderful, you are a nice singer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's very, very good. Okay, so we want to have a short break, but we have movie. We want to introduce Miss Taketani Kazuko, a member of the staff. So we have a video. So just a moment, please.
I'm Archana from AMDA. I'm AMDA staff and in charge of AMDA Junior and High School Students Club. So first of all, I would like to congratulate you all on your fabulous presentation on emergency food disaster prevention from Japanese students and Down syndrome and flood activities from Bangladesh students. So your insights have reminded us of the importance of preparedness, compassion, and cooperation during these times of crisis. By coming together and sharing our knowledge, we can work towards peace building in the world. We hope that this experience has taught you the value of culture exchange and open-mindedness and helps you all in your future venture. This program was initially started by Ms. Taketani, and she is today, I think she is looking at us from heaven. And I would like to thank you, Mr. Razak and Mr. Adnan, for your kind and quick responses. And also I would like to thank AMDA Junior High School and Junior and High School Student Clubs members and Bangladesh students and supporting members and my colleagues for your dedication and hard work. We wish you all the best in your future, and I hope we will have this program next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Alvachana. So that's the end of today's peace building program, the peace building program online forum for world peace from Bangladesh and Japan. So thank you for coming today. Thank you.
Thank you. See you next year. Goodbye.
Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's an excellent